Hey everybody, it's KimQ of DailyQTips.com coming to you out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I wanted to do a quick video inspired by an interaction that I had with someone in Africa today, and this is about Overseas Prospecting 101. Let me start by telling you this, guys. If your company is available for operations in another country, please take advantage of that because you're missing out on people that have a fire in their belly like none other. I can say that because I'm American, and I know for a fact that we Americans tend to take things for granted that other people don't. So don't miss out on the entire prospect pool that's available to you. So let's go ahead and jump in. I have 5 tips for you. The first is treat overseas people like people. Guys, I can tell you this, my husband is not a citizen of the U.S. He actually comes from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, and he's a resident alien, but he's always like, I'm a resident alien, not an alien. And so you want to still remember how you talk to regular prospects. Ask them the same questions. How did you find me? What made you reach out to me? Why my company? Their motive can't just be money, because there's many other ways to make money even in their country. There's another company that they could have chosen. So why your company? Make sure their vision is in alignment with your company's and your team's vision. Ask them if they have any prior network marketing experience. That's right. The basics are still the basics, guys. Now, the second thing you want to do is you want to see if you actually operate in their country, because just because your company is on the continent doesn't mean you're in their country. I've heard people do this before. Oh yeah, we're in Africa. Yeah, but are you in Kenya? Are you in Ghana? Are you in Nigeria? Those little details matter, okay? So make sure that your company is in that specific country. Next, you want to see if you have any reps in your company that are working the business in that country or a neighboring country. And here's why, guys. You want to, and you can do this very easily, okay? You don't have to inbox everybody and be like, know anybody over here? Know anybody over here? Know anybody over here? No, don't do that. Just do a simple Facebook graph search. If you don't know how to do it, go on over to good old YouTube University and you'll find out in a matter of minutes. But once you find someone who works the business in a neighboring country, then what you want to do is reach out to them. Now, don't give them the name of your prospect, guys, until your prospect is actually in the business. This is for your safety. I'm not saying that your sister or brother in the company is, shady or, a scam artist, but you don't know them. Okay, and you don't want to mess around and have your prospect end up in their back office versus yours. So here's the deal. You're only reaching out to them to say, hey, just wanted to touch bases to find out what's the lay of the land over there. Like, how does it work with customs? How is shipping? Do you guys ship to each individual house? Because see, you only know what you know. And so you take for granted the fact that here UPS leaves the box on the doorstep if you're not here. And, the retired neighbor 2 houses down will get the box and put it in their house for you until you come home from work. It might not work like that over there. Okay? And so you need to know this. So you want to reach out to someone who's operating somewhat close to over there and just kind of get a general idea of how things operate over there. What's the standard shipping? Over here, you might be used to 3 to 7 days stateside, but if over there, it could be 14 days. This is stuff you need to know. So reach out to someone who's closer than you are to your prospect and kind of get a better idea before you go into that interaction of how things operate over there. Super important, guys. Next, you want to know what's your plan of action? Like, how are you going to interact with them? Is it going to be WhatsApp? That's my personal favorite. Many people overseas already have WhatsApp on their phone, and the last thing you want to do is ask them to install something. Can you install Zoom? Can you install this? Can you install that? I mean, think about how you feel when people ask you to install an app. You're like, first I gotta find something to delete, right? So you don't want to be that person. Ask them what they already have, and if you already have it, then just use that. But I really like WhatsApp, and I'll go even further to say that people overseas are pretty understanding. So you can do like a 3-way communication. It doesn't necessarily have to be a call, but you can do a 3-way communication by text. Get the person on your team, or if you're that person, you just put your prospect in a WhatsApp group chat and put your leadership in a WhatsApp group chat. Do like regular. You can throw a voice note in there and say, hey, so-and-so, this is my leadership that I told you about. Awesome and amazing. You guys know how to edify. And then from there, let your leadership take over with your prospect. Let them dialogue, and you just monitor and observe the conversation so that you know where you stand and where everybody stands, okay? So I prefer WhatsApp. You pick out what is best for you and your prospect. Now the next tip, we're winding down to the end, guys, is figure out what is their currency and their credit card that they will be using to get into your business. Now guys, I personally, once I know what country they're in, I'm automatically going to go to Google and say, what's the currency in whatever the country is. So like, for example, the gentleman that I was talking to today, his currency is kwacha. So when I asked him, I said, after I, determined a few prospecting, regular prospecting stuff, I said, how much kwacha do you have to invest in your business? And he was like, oh, you know kwacha. And I was like, no, but I know Google. And so even though I haven't personally been to his country and I've never personally used kwacha, that went far to establish rapport between us, because at least I have, the resourcefulness to go to Google and figure out what his currency is and then speak to him in his own language, so to speak. I'm telling you, it's so much better than if you say, what do y'all use over there again? You don't want to have that. Physical distance is one thing, but you don't want to have emotional distance, guys. Okay, try to bridge that gap by at least reaching out to them any possible way that you can. And what you definitely don't want to do is never, ever want to say, how much do you have to invest? Because again, don't be so myopic or short-sighted in your thinking. That's the question that you would ask somebody over here, because we all use dollars. But if you say, how much do you have to invest? And like, say for example, you're talking to my husband. He could say 20,000. Well, in his country, the currency is TT. So if he says 20,000 TT, you might be like, whoa, baller. But what you don't know is that the conversion is 6-to-1. So 20,000 TT is not close to 20,000 USD. And that's important to know. So always remember, when you're dealing with someone overseas, you want to have a global perspective. Okay, you want to step outside of yourself, so to speak. And the more you do this, the more familiar and the more natural it will come to you. Likewise, you want to ask them, do you have a credit card? And if they say yes, ask them what kind, because it's not guaranteed that they have a Visa or a MasterCard like what you're accustomed to. So there you have it, guys, my 5 tips for dealing with people overseas. This is Overseas Prospecting 101. Let's recap right quick, why don't we, right? So the first one is, you want to talk to them like they're regular people, because guess what? They are. Their accent is just a little bit different and their dialect is just a little bit, exotic, but they're still a regular person. So don't treat them, otherwise. The second thing you want to figure out is if your company is in that country. It's not enough to be on the continent. You need to have a presence. You need to be able to operate in their country. Don't get the two confused. Thirdly, you want to find out if you have any reps in your company that are in their country or a neighboring country, so that you can get the proverbial lay of the land, just a more intimate knowledge of how things operate over there. Fourth, you want to figure out what application are you going to use. I like WhatsApp. You pick out what's best for you and your prospect. And the fifth and final thing is, you want to talk money, guys. So you want to talk money in their language, talk about how much they have in their currency, and find out what type of credit card they have, so that you can go ahead and get them rocking and rolling in the system. So there you have it, guys, my very, very basic introductory level tips and tricks for prospecting with people overseas. Again, if your company operates overseas, I strongly advise that you gain a foothold and getting some business partners over there, because there's a reason why your company is not just stateside. Now, if you found this helpful, you go on over and connect with me so that you don't miss out on any other tips and tricks I share over at DailyQTips.com. I can't wait to see you over there. And you know what? You can even inbox me and say, hey, Kim, I really like this or that, or I need clarification on this or that, and I'll be more than happy to help you. All right, I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.